Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're going to start looking at Avacyn Restored, which is the last set from the original Innistrad block, and we're going to start with Angelic Might, which is a white and green deck. So let's take a look at the deck list here. So we've got 21 creatures, 5 enchantments, 4 artifacts, 3 sorceries, 2 instants, and 25 land. The nice thing about the next 5 decks I'm looking at from Avacyn Restored is that it sort of does the same thing as Rise of the Eldrazi did, in that all these precons use only new cards from the new set. There's no cards from Innistrad or Dark Ascension in this, so yeah, everything we'll be looking at is brand new. So yeah, it's quite exciting. Let's dive in and start looking at the cards. So, as you might have guessed from the name of the deck, there's quite a big emphasis on angels, which was like a big set on the big focus of the set anyway, because it marked the storyline. Avacyn had returned, and all the angels had come back, and to save Innistrad, that didn't work out so great, as we'll find out in a few more sets. But for now, it was fine. Just poor people in Innistrad, they just can't get a break. So anyway. One of the rares, not the foil face rare, is Angel of Glory's Rise. So 5 and 2 white for a 4/6 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you exile all zombies. So, so bad news for that one guy in your group who plays zombies. Then you return all human creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. The two main creature types in the deck obviously are angels and humans. The fact that you play this late game when potentially all your humans are dead anyway, or most of them, and you get kind of this mass reanimation, I think is pretty good. Obviously, it is very expensive. There is obviously a chance that first ability to exile all zombies could be very, very swingy. It's either gonna completely end the game essentially, or it's going to do nothing, pretty much, depending what you're playing against. But yeah, I think this is okay. And the foil face rare is Herald of War. So 3 and 2 white for a 3/3 flyer. When it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and angel spells and human spells you cast cost 1 less for every +1/+1 counter on Herald of War. So yeah, I think this is okay as well. There's a few ways of getting +1/+1 counters in the deck anyway, so you can sort of like accelerate this ability a bit faster. I always feel like maybe an ability like this, it's already on like a 5-drop anyway. By that point, by the time you manage to cast it, like the cost reduction is maybe not as vital as it needs to be, or like not as you're not getting as much use out of it. But it's still cost reduction at the end of the day. Still helps you cast stuff, helps you power out the angels, which was the most expensive thing in the deck. So yeah, I think this is also an okay rare to have in the deck. Then we've got an Archangel, which is a really nice reprint. It's downshift as well, down to uncommon, which makes sense because like it's not really like rare worthy in my opinion. It's just slightly bigger Serra Angel. So 5 and 2 white just for a 5/5 flying and vigilance. Yep, it's okay. But yeah, a really nice reprint to have from sort of like one of the classic sets. Then we have 2 Emancipation Angels, so 1 and 2 white for a 3/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to owner's hand. So Avacyn Restored has a small theme of like bouncing your own stuff, or like flickering your stuff, because there's quite a few like enter the battlefield effects. Not as many in this deck, but yeah, this is fine because obviously it can be any permanent, so you can do a land. So it's quite aggressively costed, being a 3/3 fly for only 3. I say if you can get the benefit of a extra enter the battlefield ability out of it, then it's fine. Otherwise, you can just return land, and you've got 3/3 flyer on turn 3, which is, I think, okay. We've got a single Gold Knight Redeemer, 4 and 2 white for a 4/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for every other creature you control. You've got a fair number of creatures in here. They are fairly expensive, but this being expensive itself means that you're going to cast it maybe at the top of your curve and hopefully gain a bunch of life. Yeah, I think this is okay. And also, it's just a 4/4 flyer as well. Seraph of the Dawn, this is great. This is one of my favourite cards from the set. So 2 and 2 white for a 2/4 flying and lifelink. It's doing a lot at 4 mana and at common as well. This, because I went to the Avacyn Restored pre-release, and I was very sad I did not open any of these in my packs. Which was, I think, I saw a lot of people like playing this card, like they managed to open like a good amount of like white, and yeah, pretty much everyone I played at that pre-release played Seraph of the Dawn because it was so good. Just because it's 4 mana for a 2/4 flyer, gains your life. It's fairly chunky. Yeah, it's just doing a lot. Really like Seraph of the Dawn. Really wish there'd been more than one in the deck. Yeah, I think it's great. You got 2 Sarah Angel, who's making a cameo from from the core set. So 3 and 2 white for a 4/4 flying vigilance. We all know what Sarah Angel does. But yeah, can't have an Angel deck and not include Sarah Angel. The OG. And then we got Voice of the Provinces. This I'm not so keen on. So it's 4 and 2 white for a 3/3 flyer. So like really expensive. And when it enters the battlefield, you make just a single 1/1 white human creature token. Yeah, really, I really don't know why this is so expensive. I feel like this could be even just one less of it, or if it made like 2 tokens, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it is common, I suppose. But yeah, I would have much preferred this just be a second Seraph of the Dawn, honestly. Not so impressed by Voice of the Provinces. And then we got kind of some cheaper creatures because we've got a whole bunch of expensive angels. We need some cheaper stuff to cast in the first few turns of the game. So we've got 2 Angelic Walls, 1 and a white for a 0/4 defender and flyer. Kind of annoyed it wasn't Eretar to be an angel wall, but it's fine. I'll get over it. Yeah, just a really good blocker. 2 Cathedral Sanctifiers, 1 white mana for a 1/1. When it ends the battlefield, you gain 3 life. So this is, this is a nice thing to actually get with the Emancipation Angel. It's quite a cute little play to do there. Yeah, I think this is perfectly fine as a 1-drop. I mean, it's no Soul Warden, but what is? And then 2 Gideon's Lawkeeper, 1 white mana just for a 1/1. It's a decoy. So you can pay 1 white and tap type creature. Again, this I feel like a really perfect creature to have early on. Yeah, like stall out the opponent's creatures until you get your flight of angels out. Yeah, so this is all right. And then we've got 3 Borderland Rangers, 2 in a green. 2/2, when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. So actually another thing that's okay to get with Emancipation Angel. Yeah, this is okay. 3 feels a little overkill, honestly, but then you've got a fairly high mana curve with all the angels, so this is maybe okay. Yeah. And then a single Timberland Guide, 1 and a green, for 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, put +1/+1 counter on target creature. So actually another nice thing to do with Emancipation Angel. Kind of wish there'd been more than one of this, because it sort of does a lot. I really like this essentially this green creature, like no matter what it's called or what its creature type is, this like 2-drop that's a 1/1 that puts a +1/+1 counter on something when it comes in. Yeah, I really like this. I do wish there'd been more than one. Because there's actually not a lot of green cards in this deck, really, which is weird when we see the land ratio a bit later. So moving on to non-creature spells, we've got a single Defy Death. This is really fun. So 3 and 2 white. Return a creature card from your graveyard back to the battlefield, so it's a reanimation effect. Little expensive for a reanimation, I think, at 5, because normally just a straight up no frills reanimation is normally 4, but I mean, this has got some frills to it, actually, because if it's an angel that gets returned, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters. So really nice to see like this kind of angel matters reanimation spell, I suppose. So yeah, this is pretty good. And yeah, any angel that comes back to this is obviously going to be a lot stronger. This is actually nice with Herald of War because it's going to come back with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So yeah, I think this is a nice little reanimation spell. I really wish it was instant, but I think that would make it way too good if it was instant. 2 Righteous Blow, 1 white mana, does 2 damage to an attacking or blocking creature, so it's basically white shock, just with a slight timing restriction, I suppose. Yeah, it's okay. Kills like small creatures, I suppose. It's basically the closest you've got to removal in the deck. A single Builder's Blessing, 3 and a white for an enchantment, gives your untapped creatures +0/+2, which is okay. It kind of feels like an update on the classic castle enchantment, all the way back from like Alpha. But I'm not sure this is I'm not sure this is an effect like the deck really cares about, because yeah, it makes your creatures tougher, but it also costs 4 mana, so like you kind of want this coming down early, so like your smaller creatures like your Cathedral Sanctifiers and your Angelic Walls are tougher to stall out until you get your angels down. And you've not got like a lot of things. You've got a few things with like vigilance, but like not many. So this is like I'm not saying like it's a bad card. It's maybe a little underwhelming because things that that just increase toughness are usually like not that exciting. But yeah, it's not. I don't think it's not a bad card. It's a little unexciting, and I just don't think it's an effect the deck really wants that much, I suppose. Yeah, just a bit of a weird choice, I think. And then we've got 2 defangs, 1 and a white enchant creature. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by enchanted creature. I think I would have just preferred a pacifism, honestly, because you put this on an enemy creature, like it's not going to do any damage, but it can still block. I'd rather just pacifism and just take it out of combat entirely. But this is the kind of thing where the decks are using, just a more limited card pool, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know why this is the same as pacifism when it's kind of like not. I suppose it prevents, like if it's a creature that has, an ability that does non-combat damage, it does that as well, I suppose. So actually, you know what? There we go. There's a niche use for it. So there we go. I'd still prefer pacifism though. And then single Oblivion Ring. This is better removal, obviously. 2 and a white, just exile something until Oblivion Ring leaves the battlefield, and then it comes back. Yep, we all know what Oblivion Ring does. It's seen a million times. 2 Rampant Crows, which is good. As we discussed, we've got quite a high mana curve, so this is a good way to get some land out, so you can cast your angels quicker. A single Triumph of Ferocity. This feels weird as well, actually. So 2 and a green. As enchantment, at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. Now, your angels can get pretty big, but it's not what they're renowned for, really. Obviously they're renowned for being, kind of mid range, sort of 3 to maybe 5 power ish, which can be pretty big. But the key thing is that they fly. They usually have some sort of vigilance or lifelink or something. It's like having high power is not the thing. So this feels like a weird inclusion in the deck, honestly. If you get 1 or 2 card draws off it, I suppose it's okay. But it just feels weird. Inclusion again. I definitely feel like there's maybe a better choice that could have gone in here, but I don't know. So they have 2 Angel's Tombs, so 3 mana artifact. When a creature enters the battlefield under control, you can have Angel's Tomb animate, becomes a 3/3 white angel. So it's like one of the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. So yeah, this is fine. I say you got a lot of creatures, so this is going to be animating a lot. Becomes a 3/3 fly, which is fairly solid. Yeah, I think this is okay. A single bladed braces, which is a real shame. Really wish there'd been more than one of this, actually. So 1 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. As long as equipped creature is a human or an angel, which pretty much every creature in the deck is. It has vigilance, so this is really nice on Seraph of the Dawn. Turn it into a 3/5 flying lifelink vigilance. That'd be really, really nice. Yeah, it's just a shame there's only one of them. And then a single scroll of Avacyn, 1 mana artifact. You can pay 1 and sacrifice it to draw a card. If you control an angel, you gain 5 life. I'm really, really happy that the card draw is what you always get, and the bonus of life gain. The bonus is the life gain, because I could so see this being the other way of you sacrifice it, you just get 5 life. If you control an angel, draw a card. So I'm really, really happy it's the other way around, because I'd say drawing a card is most of the time more valuable than just gaining some life. So yeah, it's a cute little card, I suppose. And then we have a single Seraph Sanctuary, non-basic land. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Tap and gives you colorless. So this is actually, I feel like this is doing okay. You've got a lot of angels in the deck, so there's potential this could gain you a fair amount of life actually as you go through the game. So yeah, I think this is okay actually. As a common non-basic land, I think it's okay actually. So yeah, I quite like it. It's just kind of inoffensive, and just if you get sort of 2-3 life off it, I think it's I think it's perfectly fine. It doesn't come in tapped either, so yeah, I think it's all right. And then we've got 13 plains and 11 forests. And that's what we're going to talk about, the ratio of the lands, because there's hardly any green cards in here. You had the Timberland Guides, the Borderland Ranger, the Triumph of Frosty, and Rampant Growth, I think, and that was it. So there's really not a lot of green cards, and yet the ratio is almost 50-50 with the land, and it's actually a theme I noticed through all the Avacyn Restored Precons, that the land ratio is really, really off. It's just very strange, honestly. Yeah, that was that was my divergence talk about land there. So what could have been? So, I kind of wish there'd been a bit more green in here, honestly, but I'm just going to talk about Blessings of Nature first. So, also we have a deck here that's all about the angel stuff. We don't have any cards with Miracle, which is this new mechanic that was introduced in Avacyn Restored. So Miracle is you can play the card for a reduced cost for its Miracle cost if when you draw it and it's the first card you draw that turn, which can be a little bit of a pain to sort of keep track of, and it does require, I suppose, I don't know, some sort of, trust I guess, between players, because especially when, like, if it's not an instant, because, like, say you would draw this, it goes into your hand, and then, like, you play it, I don't know, main phase one after a bunch of other stuff, and, like, you put it into your hand, and, like, it's like, yep, I definitely drew this card first, and, like, I don't know, there's no way of checking. I do remember actually when the previous went to, there was, like, a judge call because someone was like, I don't believe, someone had cast a card for its miracle cost. It kicked off a little bit. It was a little bit of a drama. Someone cast a card for the miracle cost, and the player's like, and it would have won them a game. And I think the other person got kind of salty and was like, I don't believe that's the first card you drew this turn. It's, like, too convenient, and it was a whole thing. I was like, it's a cool mechanic, I think, in principle, but, like, I think it's maybe a little hard to maybe execute at the table. I don't know. I'd like to hear people's opinions on Miracle, and any weird experiences they had with it. Alternate rares. Let's go and talk about those. So I think Herald of War is perfectly good. Angel of Glory's Rise, I think, is a little weird, just because it's it has the exile all zombies thing and reanimates all your humans, but you don't have a huge amount of humans in the deck. I would have preferred either Moon Silver Spear, 4-mana equipment, and equipped creature has first strike, and when it attacks you just make an angel, which is fine, which is kind of what the deck wants to be doing. Or Angel of Jubilation, which is 1 and triple white for a 3/3, gives all your non-black creatures +1/+1, and players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spells or activate abilities, which is kind of like this, I know, this extra, like, little useful flavorful ability, I suppose. But yeah, we could have had either of those, I think, instead of Angel of Glory's Rise, which is, like, fine, but I don't know. It just, that exile all zombies thing is really, I'm really hung up on that for some reason. But yeah, I still think it's fine. But yeah, this is what could have been. So in summary, I think it's okay. For, like, because Angel Tribal, I think, is, like, a hard thing to maybe design, because it's there's such a high mana curve for most of these angels. You cast them, obviously, then you've got a bunch of stuff in the sky to attack with, so it's kind of like white green skies, I suppose, is the deck. But yeah, I think it's okay. Some weird choices made, but I think that's because it's just sort of sticking with the card pool. But even then, I feel like there may be slightly better choices within the set. But overall, I think, like, fairly solid, honestly. It's just summoning a bunch of angels, which is, so all you really want to do. But that's just my thoughts on the deck. If you got any thoughts, stories, comments, opinions about this deck, or as I said, like, Miracle, like, if you got any opinions on that mechanic, stick a comment below. I love giving them a read. But I'll be back next time, go look at another Avacyn Restored deck. But until then, thanks for watching and listening. Have a good day.